Okay, and once you've got it all smoothed on, you go over it, maybe 2 or 3 times each time you're smoothing it on, and just you really make sure, look at it, make sure you can't see any of that base. You want to make sure that it's all, that really nice liquid hot wax smoothed out too, because the smoother you get it, moving front to back like this, the easier it will be to scrape. From there, once you are done ironing in, you're going to let it cool down. Another thing to note too is when you're tuning the board, it's always going to be a lot easier if the board is at room temperature, because when you're trying to do a hot wax and it's a cold board, it's going to be a lot longer for it to melt and actually get into the base. So have it at room temperature, just smooth it out, and you really want to make sure that it cools down first. That's going to give it the most chance to seep into the pores, and then it's going to be maybe a little bit hard to scrape off, but it definitely ensures that all the wax is penetrating into the pore. So we got probably about 10 or 15 minutes here. We'll be right back. Okay, now that we've allowed the board to cool for usually about, like I said, about 15 minutes, we're going to come through with the scraper. This is another part of the process that takes a second. What I first like to do is run the perimeter of the board, taking off any excess wax that might be found on the edge of the board, and then usually run like so. It's just going to ensure that you get the most even waxing scrape. Once you're done with that, there's really kind of no rhyme or reason to this. You just take the scraper and you're scraping off as much of the excess wax on top as possible, / making your showroom people really, really angry at you. You just want to take it off, look at the board from the side here. You should see just lines from the scraper itself. If you see any kind of gobs of wax or anything like that, that means you got to go back and scrape it even a little bit more. Okay, once you've completed that step and made a complete mess of your showroom, you're going to take, referred to as Scotch-Brite pads or fiber tacks. There's different names for these things. You can pick them up at snowboard shops, hardware stores, whatever. But what you're going to do with this is you're going to take it and it's just going to really smooth out the wax that's left. And the whole goal of waxing is not actually to have a surface of wax across the board. It's just to penetrate into these pores that you can't see. So you really want to try and get as much wax off the base as possible, because that's actually going to slow you down when you're out there. So you run through and you just smooth it off with this pad here. This will be included in a lot of the tuning kits that we sell as well too. Best thing to do if you're looking to get into this and save money is just to pick up one of the complete tuning kits that we have. Get everything, including the iron, at once. And it's going to be a lot cheaper actually than if you're piecing one together yourself down the road. And also, hot waxing is a great way to save money with how much lift tickets cost nowadays. These hot waxes will run, or tunes will run anywhere from say 20 to 30 bucks. So unless you need a stone grind, it's really going to save you a lot of money. Keep you out on the slopes a little bit longer. All right, so once you've done this, a lot of times, this is going to be good enough. If you want to go to the extra mile, you can take like a cloth and buff this off even more. If you are riding really wet spring conditions, one thing you can do is grab a structure brush. This is going to be like a brass wired brush. And after you've done the wax or whatever, take the brush and run it diagonally across the board like so. And then also like this in a crosshatch pattern. What this is going to do is it's going to break up the surface tension between your board and the snow. If you think about a microscope slide, you got two really smooth pieces. Once you put water in there, it's very hard to pull them apart, very hard to move them. This cross-hatching, this grooving, is just breaking up the surface tension between the board and the snow. Kind of like a golf ball is dimpled to fly through the air. You just want some sort of different surface so that it's going to slide smooth over those wet conditions and not be really sticky to the snow. And as far as waxing and sharpening, that's pretty much it. If you have any questions, as always, just give me a call.